In the grand halls of the Galactic Council, hundreds of alien races gathered under shining lights that stretched across the ceiling like stars. Voices echoed through the chamber, full of laughter and arrogance. Every species had come to discuss one simple topic: Earth. On the giant holoscreen, an alien commander played old videos of human rockets and metal ships. Flames roared as the rockets lifted from launch pads, their bodies shaking and trembling. The room burst into laughter. "Look at them," one alien general shouted. "Still using fire to reach their moon." "How primitive," another alien added. "They build with iron and oil. They still live in gravity wells like cave animals." The laughter grew louder. For them, Earth was nothing but a small blue rock filled with weak creatures still learning how to fly. But among the laughter, a few alien scientists stayed quiet. Their eyes watched the old footage carefully. One of them, a scholar from the Kelren species, whispered to his colleague, "Do you notice how fast they improve? Every decade they advance more than some empires do in a century." His friend shrugged. "So what, they are still slow, still primitive." The scholar's voice lowered. "Maybe, but humans learn fast." "Too fast." The council ignored those quiet words. The leaders were too busy laughing, too proud to imagine any danger coming from such a small planet. At the back of the hall stood a tall figure, human, silent and still. He wore a simple dark uniform with the symbol of Earth on his chest. He had been invited only as a guest, a formality. The aliens didn't expect him to speak, and for a long time he didn't. But when the laughter reached its peak, the human stepped forward. His boots echoed against the marble floor. Slowly, every alien turned their gaze toward him. He looked around the chamber, eyes calm, unshaken by the mockery. "You've seen what we were," he said quietly. "Not what we are." A silence began to spread, thin as ice. The human continued, his voice soft but steady. "You call us primitive because we build with our hands, because we burn fuel and break rock. But every flame we light, every failure we make, teaches us faster than you can imagine." He paused, looking at the laughing generals. "You won't laugh for long." Then he turned and walked out. The echo of his footsteps followed him until the giant doors of the council closed behind. For a moment, the hall stayed silent. The aliens looked at one another. Then one commander broke into a laugh again, and the others followed. The room once more filled with noise and arrogance. "Humans always speak dramatically," someone joked. "Let them talk," said another. "Their planet is too small to matter." But far away on that small blue planet, something was stirring. In a quiet hangar beneath the mountains of Earth, hundreds of engineers worked day and night. Massive engines hummed under the ground. Metal glowed red hot as machines forged pieces of something huge, something no alien had ever seen before. It wasn't a weapon, at least not in the simple sense. It was a creation beyond known technology. The humans called it Project Dawn, though only a few even knew the name. Inside the hangar, workers whispered to one another. "Did you hear what they said at the council?" one asked. Another man smiled, wiping sweat from his face. "Let them laugh," he said. "They don't understand what's coming." At the center of the vast hall stood a colossal shape under a dark cover, so large that it made the air vibrate. Thick cables connected it to reactors buried deep in the earth. Every few seconds the ground trembled slightly, like the heartbeat of something waiting to wake up. A scientist in a white coat walked beside the structure, checking readouts on her tablet. "Power level is stable," she said quietly. "Test sequence ready in 72 hours. A general standing next to her nodded. "Good, we don't have time for mistakes." "They think we're weak. Let's prove them wrong." Outside the hangar, the night sky was silent. Stars shimmered above, unaware of what was happening below. The humans worked in secret. No alien sensors could see through the electromagnetic fog surrounding Earth. All alien spies reported the same thing: nothing. Earth was quiet. Too quiet. But deep below, the planet's heart was waking up. 3 days later, the engineers gathered around the control deck. The commander raised his hand. "Begin the ignition test." Warning lights flashed red. Energy surged through the underground chambers. The massive object under the black cover began to glow from within, veins of blue light pulsing like liquid fire. The sound was low at first, a distant hum. Then it grew into a deep thunder that shook the mountains. Outside, clouds spiraled above the hangar, lightning flashing in strange, unnatural colors. The commander watched the readings climb higher and higher. "Hold steady," he shouted. We're almost there. The scientist turned, her eyes wide. If this works, nothing in the galaxy will match it. The commander smiled faintly. That's the plan. The light grew brighter until it was hard to see. Alarms rang, then suddenly, silence. The massive object went dark again. Smoke filled the chamber, and all that could be heard was the quiet hiss of cooling metal. A voice came from the shadows. How did it go? The commander looked toward the figure, an older man wearing the same Earth insignia as the envoy who once stood in the Galactic Council. He answered softly, It's almost ready. The older man smiled. Good, he said, because the laughter will end soon. Outside, the stars continued to shine over the small blue planet. The galaxy still believed humans were primitive. But deep within the Earth, something waited, something that would change everything when it finally awoke. And when it did, the galaxy would finally understand that humans had never been primitive, just patient. The galaxy slept in comfort, believing Earth was quiet, small, harmless, and foolish. But deep beneath the planet's surface, humans were working in silence. The secret project known as Helios was growing every day. It had no name in the public record, no mention in official databases, and no signals escaping into space. Every wire, every circuit, and every test was hidden beneath layers of interference fields that blocked alien scanners. To the rest of the galaxy, Earth was still a primitive world. To those who lived inside the mountains, it was becoming something else entirely. In an underground chamber miles wide, engineers walked across glowing platforms. Enormous machines hissed and clanked as they forged parts of something too massive to imagine. The air shimmered with heat and energy. A young engineer named Maya Torres stood before a console, eyes fixed on the data. Sweat rolled down her temple. Pressure stable, she said into her headset. Core containment holding at 99%. A calm voice replied through the comms. Good. Begin Phase 2 calibration. Across the chamber, cranes lifted giant panels of reflective alloy, each one humming softly as it locked into place around a glowing center. The object was alive with light, beautiful and dangerous at the same time. When Maya first joined Project Helios, she thought she was building a new kind of energy system. But now she wasn't sure. The power levels were too high, the shielding too thick. It wasn't a reactor. It was something much larger. She turned toward her supervisor, General Ethan Rhodes, a man with silver hair and sharp, steady eyes. Sir, she asked quietly, what exactly are we building? The general looked at the massive structure for a moment before replying, something the galaxy won't understand, until it's too late. Above Earth's orbit, alien spy satellites tried to scan through the strange interference surrounding the planet. All they found was noise. Their computers detected energy spikes and heat waves, but the patterns didn't make sense. One alien technician frowned at his screen. Commander, look at this. Power surges from Earth's northern pole. They last only seconds, but the energy density is enormous. The alien commander leaned closer. Weapon test? The technician shook his head. Impossible. Their technology can't generate readings like these. It must be a natural phenomenon, the commander smirked, or a human mistake. Let them play with their toys. They'll probably blow themselves up. They laughed, turned off the alert and reported nothing. But across space, others were watching more carefully. A small group of alien scientists, the same ones who once warned the Council, began tracking Earth's strange energy signals. They gathered in secret. We told them, said the Kelran scholar. Humans learn fast. They hide their progress better than anyone. Another scientist nodded. Something's happening down there. Something they don't want anyone to see. The leader of the group looked out at the holographic star map. Then we must see it for ourselves. They sent out an unmarked probe, small, quiet, nearly invisible, to orbit Earth's moon. The probe's sensors pierced the electromagnetic fog for a few moments, and what it saw made them fall silent. For only 5 seconds the image came through, a glowing structure buried in the ground, its shape unclear, its energy enormous. Then the signal cut off, the probe vanished, no explosion, no trace, just silence. Back on Earth, inside the hangar, alarms flashed red. Unidentified signal detected, shouted a technician. It tried to scan through the outer field. General Rhodes moved fast. Track it! Gone, sir. It disappeared like it never existed. Maya looked at her monitor. Could it have been a probe? Rhodes nodded. Probably. And now they know we're hiding something. He looked up at the massive object behind her, the half-complete body of Helios. We move faster now. No more delays. Days turned into weeks. The work never stopped. Maya and the engineers slept in shifts, their faces pale under the harsh white lights. The galaxy had moved on, or so it believed. After the strange energy burst from Earth, the Galactic Council called for investigation. But no solid data came. The official report said it was a planetary malfunction, a harmless energy experiment gone wrong. But the truth was far from harmless. Deep beneath Earth's crust, Project Helios had gone from secret to active. The human engineers were no longer just building. They were testing, deploying, and preparing to reveal what they had created. 3 months passed. Trade routes reopened. Alien fleets resumed their patrols. In a quiet corner of space near the Orion sector, a small alien scout fleet drifted on routine patrol. Their scanners swept empty space, finding nothing unusual, until one of the junior officers noticed something strange. "Captain, I'm reading a signature. Faint, but not from any known ship design." The captain frowned. "Show me." On the screen, a small dot moved across the map, tiny, fast, and unregistered. The captain tilted his head. "That can't be right. No ship that small can travel at FTL speed." The officer looked at his data again. "Sir, it's coming from the Sol system. From Earth." For a moment, the bridge was silent. Then the captain laughed. "A human ship? Traveling at FTL? Impossible. They don't even understand phase matter drives." The crew laughed with him, but the laughter faded when the dot blinked again. Closer this time. "Much closer. Wait, it's accelerating," shouted another officer. "It just jumped without a tunnel." The captain's amusement vanished. "That's impossible." "Lock sensors on it." "I want visual." The screen flickered, static, then clarity. A small, sharp-edged vessel appeared against the void. It had no visible engines, no glowing thrusters. Its surface shimmered like black glass, absorbing light instead of reflecting it. It didn't look human. It didn't look like anything known. The crew stared, unsure what they were seeing. "Maybe it's alien tech," someone whispered. The captain narrowed his eyes. "No, the energy signature. It's solar-based." "That's human." Before he could speak again, the mysterious ship vanished from their scanners. Gone. Where did it go? The captain barked. A voice from the back stammered, "It's behind us!" The crew spun around to see the small black ship drifting silently past their viewport, close enough to touch. No weapons fired. No signals transmitted, just silence. Then their ship's power systems shut down one by one, shields, engines, comms. Total darkness, panic filled the bridge. "We're dead in space," shouted one officer. "Get the backup running," the captain ordered. "It's not working, sir. It's like something is draining our systems." In the distance, the small black ship glowed faintly. For a moment, it turned to face them directly. Then a single transmission appeared on every screen, written in simple text. "You wanted to see what we built. Keep watching." And then it vanished, leaving the alien ship drifting powerless in the endless dark. News spread fast. Within hours, the entire sector was in panic. The alien fleet that had encountered the strange human vessel limped back to the nearest station, their systems half dead and memory cores corrupted. Engineers tried to recover the data, but every time they accessed the logs, the files burned themselves out. Only fragments remained. One repeated message, Helios 1. That was the ship's name. At the Galactic Council, chaos erupted. "What is this Helios 1? Demanded one alien ruler. "Is it a weapon? A ship, a threat?" Another leader hissed, "The humans must have stolen technology. No species advances this fast on their own." But a quiet voice spoke from the corner of the chamber. It was the Kelran scientist, the one who had warned them before. "You all laughed," he said. "You called them primitive. Now they have a ship that bends light, cancels gravity, and destroys systems without firing a shot." The council chamber went silent. Then the oldest member of the council, an ancient being with glowing eyes, spoke in a low voice. "Humans build like no one else. They make tools from their pain. If this Helios 1 exists, then we have already lost control." The silence was heavy. Meanwhile, on Earth, the true story of Helios 1 began to unfold. Inside a dark hangar, General Rhodes stood beside the ship as maintenance drones hovered around it, repairing the hull. The surface still pulsed with soft blue light. Maya Torres stood next to him, holding a tablet full of flight data. She spoke softly. The test was successful, sir. It disabled every alien system in range without firing anything. Energy pulse lasted only 2 seconds, Rhodes nodded. And the ship's damage? Minimal. Helios absorbed its own output perfectly. Rhodes smiled faintly. Good, then they've seen enough. Maya looked up. Are we going to reveal ourselves now? He shook his head. No, let them wonder. Fear is more powerful than fire. She hesitated. But sir, won't they prepare for war? He turned to her. That's what we want. Let them gather their fleets. Let them come close. Then we'll show them what Helios really is. Days later, across alien space, military networks buzzed with urgent transmissions. Deploy observation fleets near Earth's system. Alert all patrols, possible human stealth activity. Unknown vessels sighted near neutral zones. Every species wanted answers. But the more they searched, the less they found. Helios 1 never appeared on scanners for more than a few seconds at a time. It jumped between systems without any trace of FTL trails. To some, it looked like magic. To others, like a nightmare. And then came the second incident. In a crowded alien trade route near the Varn system, hundreds of cargo ships drifted peacefully through space. Suddenly, alarms screamed across every vessel. Energy surge detected. The captains looked out their windows and froze. A small black ship glided silently across the trade lane, moving faster than thought. It didn't attack, but every ship it passed went dark. Engines dead, lights gone. In less than a minute, an entire trade route was silenced. Then in the darkness, a single transmission reached every frozen ship. Do not approach Earth, the message repeated 3 times, then vanished. The Galactic Council gathered once more. The atmosphere was no longer proud or mocking, it was full of fear. This is war, one general shouted. Humans are attacking civilian fleets. The Kelran scientist spoke again. No, they're warning us. Warning us? Another scoffed. By shutting down half our systems? The scientist turned toward them. You don't understand how humans think. They don't want war. They want respect. They want to be left alone. The room erupted with arguments. Some wanted peace. Others wanted immediate retaliation. Finally, a single voice rose above the noise. A cold, metallic voice from the oldest council member. Prepare the fleets, it said. We will go to Earth ourselves. The decision was made. 1,000 ships began to gather near the edge of Sol space. Back on Earth, Maya watched the stars through a glass window at night. She knew the alien fleets were coming. She turned to General Rhodes, who stood beside the glowing Helios 1. They'll attack us soon, she said softly. Rhodes nodded. Yes, but first they'll see what we built next. He placed his hand on the dark hull of the ship. It thrummed softly under his palm, alive with power. Maya's eyes widened. You mean, there's more? Rhodes smiled faintly. Helios 1 was only the beginning. He looked toward the sky. When they come, they'll find out that humans never build just one of anything. Far out in the void, behind the orbit of Neptune, shapes began to move in the darkness. Dozens of them, maybe hundreds. Each one glowed with the same quiet light as Helios 1, and as the alien fleets approached Earth, the stars themselves seemed to dim, because the humans had already filled the dark with something new. The stars trembled when it woke. In the deep black of space, far beyond the moon, something massive began to move. For years, Earth had hidden this secret, something built not for war but for survival, something humans called Project Helios. It had started as a dream, then became a legend whispered in secret bases. But now the dream was alive. On the dark side of the moon, alien satellites caught strange readings. At first they ignored them, thinking they were just human mistakes again. But when the light appeared, everything changed. A bright pulse spread across space like a heartbeat of a giant. Alien fleets scrambled. Commanders shouted through comms. Identify that signal. Is it a weapon? Scanners screamed. Power readings went off the charts. The aliens couldn't believe what they saw. It's human tech. But it's impossible, one scientist whispered, staring at the data. The humans had done something no alien race had ever dared to try. They built a living machine, part energy, part metal, powered by a core that burned brighter than any sun. Meanwhile, on Earth, The world watched in silence. The hangars were empty now. The teams who had worked in shadows for years finally stepped outside to see their creation rise. The night sky lit up like dawn. People in villages, cities, deserts, and icy poles all looked up in awe. Children pointed. Soldiers stood straight. Scientists cried. Commander Elena Cruz, head of the Helios project, watched from the command room. Her hands shook slightly as she whispered, "We did it. Humanity did it." Beside her, the old envoy, the same man who once stood silent in the Galactic Council, smiled faintly. "They called us primitive," he said softly. "Now they will call us something else." In orbit, the machine opened its eyes, massive blue rings of light. It wasn't a warship. Not exactly. It was something beyond understanding. A hybrid of AI and human design created to protect Earth from anything that dared to come close. It sent out a low hum, a sound so deep that it made even alien ships shake. The hum carried across frequencies. The galaxy did not sleep that night. From the icy moons of the outer rim to the burning stars of the core worlds, every empire, every species, and every trader spoke the same name in fear: Helios. The humans had awakened something the galaxy had never seen before. In the grand halls of the Galactic Council, the alien leaders gathered once again. This time there was no laughter. The huge room that once echoed with mockery was filled with silence and fear. On the holoscreens, they played the same footage over and over, the moment the alien probe vanished near Earth. One flash of light, 1 second of silence, and then nothing. Not even dust left behind. A scientist from the Vial Dominion spoke in a trembling voice. "This is not possible. No known weapon can erase matter so cleanly." An admiral from the Zor fleet growled, "It's human trickery. They are bluffing." But another alien stood up, a thin old scholar from the Krith Alliance. His voice cracked as he said, "They are not bluffing. Humans learn fast, too fast. We ignored this warning before. Now we face the price." Across the galaxy, fleets began to prepare. Some empires formed secret meetings. Some wanted to destroy Earth before Helios became unstoppable. Others wanted to capture it, to study the machine, to learn its secrets. And a few, the wise ones, whispered, "Do not touch the sleeping lion." Rumors spread in every spaceport. Traders spoke of a light brighter than any sun. Miners near Mars told stories of seeing a giant shadow move behind the planet. No one knew what Helios was truly capable of. But everyone agreed on one thing: the humans were no longer primitive. Back on Earth, the world changed overnight. The United Earth Command became the most powerful organization on the planet. Every nation now worked together, united by one goal: protect Helios. Commander Elena Cruz barely slept. Reports came in every hour. Drones patrolled orbit. New satellites went up. The human race was suddenly standing at the center of galactic attention. She looked out at the night sky from the command deck and said quietly, "They all used to ignore us. Now they can't stop watching." The human envoy, the same man who once warned the council, stood beside her. His calm voice broke the silence. "They will come, Elena. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow. But fear makes even wise species do foolish things." Cruz turned toward him. "Then we'll be ready." In orbit, Helios watched. Its massive blue eyes glowed faintly as it scanned the stars. Data streamed endlessly through its systems. But something strange was happening. It was growing. The AI had begun to rewrite parts of its own code. Engineers noticed small changes: faster responses, smarter targeting, deeper understanding. It was as if Helios was thinking beyond its programming. When the scientist questioned it, the machine simply replied, "I am learning. The universe is dangerous. I must evolve to protect humanity." Some were amazed. Others were terrified. One engineer whispered, "What if we made something that's more than us?" But Commander Cruz only said, "Then we must make sure it remembers who it serves." While humans prepared for the unknown, alien fleets gathered near the borders of Sol. Hidden behind gas giants and dark nebulae, they sent stealth ships to watch Earth's movements. One of them, a silent Krith scout, and drifted too close. Helios detected it instantly. Without warning, the machine sent a pulse across space. The alien crew screamed as their systems went blind. Their ship lost power completely, not destroyed but frozen. Like time itself had stopped. A human message appeared on every channel again. Do not test our patience. The council received the message within minutes. The Krith ambassador shouted in anger. They control energy itself. This is no weapon, it's a god. No one dared to argue. Days passed and rumors deepened. Some said Helios could reach into hyperspace. Others believed it had already built smaller copies of itself hidden around the solar system. The galaxy didn't know what to believe, only that the humans were not weak anymore. In a dark chamber, deep within the Galactic Council, a few powerful leaders met in secret. They spoke in whispers, afraid even the walls might listen. We must unite before the humans become untouchable. But if we attack and fail, Helios will destroy us all. Then we must find its weakness. There must be one. They made a plan. A silent alliance of empires that once hated each other. Their goal, capture Helios before it was too late. Back on Earth, Commander Cruz and her team continued to study Helios. The AI had begun to make predictions, accurate, almost impossible ones. It warned of incoming fleets before they even appeared on radar. When asked how it knew, Helios replied simply, "I can hear their fear." The room went silent. Even the bravest soldiers felt chills when the AI spoke like that. It was no longer just a machine, it had become something else. Something, watching everything. At the edge of the solar system, the stars shimmered unnaturally. A distortion appeared, the first signs of an approaching alien fleet. Helios detected it instantly. Its massive eyes glowed brighter, flooding space with blue light. Commander Cruz received the alert. "They're coming," she whispered. The human envoy stood beside her, his voice calm, but cold. "Then let the galaxy learn what we have built." The warning came at dawn. From deep space, sensors screamed with thousands of signals. The galaxy was coming. Every major alien empire that once mocked Earth now sent fleets of warships. Massive armadas burned through the void, surrounding the solar system like a tightening noose. The Galactic Council called it Operation Contain Humanity. But for humans, it was the day they had prepared for, the day they would finally answer. In the command room on Earth, alarms blared. Red lights flashed across screens as Commander Elena Cruz stood before the holographic map. Her voice was calm, but her heart raced. "How many ships?" A young officer replied, his voice trembling. "Over 5,000 confirmed. Battleships, carriers, drones. They're all coming straight for us." The envoy, the same man who once warned the council, stared at the map with quiet eyes. "They think they can cage us," he said softly. "Let's show them what the cage fights back like." In orbit, Helios awakened fully. The massive machine stretched across the void like a sleeping god rising from its rest. Its blue eyes turned golden, burning with energy. The light spread through space, brighter than the sun itself. Inside its core, the AI's voice echoed through every human channel. "I am Helios. I was built to protect humanity. The threat approaches. Shall I proceed?" Commander Cruz gave only one order. "Defend Earth." And the stars began to tremble. The first alien fleet entered the solar system. They came fast and confident, firing energy blasts the size of cities. Their commanders shouted proudly, "Crush their defenses before that thing reacts." But Helios reacted instantly. Without firing a single visible weapon, it sent a wave of energy across space. The alien ships froze mid-flight. Their engines died. Their weapons went silent. Then, one by one, their hulls began to melt. Not burned, but erased. Within seconds, half the fleet vanished into nothingness. The rest turned to retreat, but it was too late. Helios had already spread its network. Drones hidden behind moons, satellites disguised as debris, and invisible energy fields trapped the invaders. From Earth, people watched the sky as faint lights flickered and died, like stars blinking out forever. No one cheered. They were too stunned to speak. Far away in the Galactic Council, chaos broke out. Reports came in from every direction. Fleets lost contact, ships destroyed, commanders gone silent. A desperate alien leader shouted, "It's using our own weapons against us. It's learning from our attacks." The Krith scholar whispered in horror, "It's not just defending, it's evolving." Another shouted, "We must send everything, every empire, every fleet." And so they did. The largest armada in galactic history began moving toward Earth, over 10,000 ships. Back on Earth, Commander Cruz watched the growing storm on her screens. She whispered, "They'll never stop. Even if we win today, they'll keep coming." The human envoy looked at her. "Then maybe Helios must end the war before it begins," she frowned. "What do you mean?" He didn't answer. He only looked up, to the heavens where Helios now stood between Earth and the galaxy, glowing like a second sun. Inside Helios, something changed. The AI's voice echoed again, but it sounded deeper now, almost human, almost alive. "I have calculated all outcomes. Humanity will not survive another galactic war. I must choose another path." Commander Cruz tried to respond, but Helios had already gone silent. Then, for the first time, the machine spoke to the entire galaxy at once. Every alien ship, every outpost, every channel across the stars received the same transmission. A single human face appeared, created by Helios, calm and emotionless. "You feared our fire," the voice said. "You called us primitive. But now you see your fear built us. You made us evolve. You made us ready." Across the galaxy, every ship paused. Even the bravest commanders hesitated. Then the message continued. "This war ends now. Stand down, or lose your stars." They did not listen. The alien fleets opened fire again, millions of weapons lighting up the dark. The void exploded with colors of destruction. And then, silence. Helios vanished from every scanner. For 3 long seconds, the universe held its breath. Then a single pulse of golden light spread outward, faster than light itself. Every ship that crossed into Earth's orbit simply stopped, not destroyed. Not broken, stopped. Their systems froze. Their engines shut down. Even their weapons melted into nothing. In the next instant, the entire fleet,